back to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
All right. And hopefully that, like, leads you right into a whole nother ad, Travis. Well, dude, the whole concept behind, I like making the videos, and the whole concept behind it is, you're giving people a little while to get into the room, you know? Like, they get the notification, and then you give them, like, 5 minutes. You give them, like, 5 minutes or so to kind of it gives me a second to get settled in. Whatever, some days I don't feel like doing it, some days I do. Also, I have the door open. It's kind of warm today, but I have the door open. Apparently, Red Pill, my rooster, I call him Buddy Red Pill. Yeah. And apparently. But he was a big hit on the last stream, so I have the door open and just kind of maybe he'll give us some action. It's raining outside and stuff like that. Dude, I never played, I wasn't like a really big arcade person in general. Like, my parents would give me like a handful of quarters, maybe. And the first thing I'm going to do is play either Terminator with the gun. I would either play Terminator 2 or Ninja Turtles. And dude, it was always like, you always kind of had the big kids around and stuff, so you didn't get to, you might not get to get on the, damn, dude. Well, I'll wait for you to come back before we start, since it's only a couple people. You know what, dude? I'm gonna share it on Twitter. How do you do that? And I'm gonna try to Twitter. I'm gonna try to stay focused today. Why couldn't I get an ad during the intro? I know, I was happy for Travis. That it kind of worked. That's another thing, too. Ideally, you get that ad out the way early. It kind of saves you a little bit of time. And I'll share it on VK. VK is like Russian Facebook. I love it, man. And I don't post enough. And everybody was like really, really cool. And I feel bad I don't share it enough. I don't know what time it is over there. They might not. All right. Let me get my Twitch back up because I've just closed it accidentally. Let me know when you're back, Armando. Because I do want to, dude, Travis. Just getting this all set up was pretty interesting. And I do want to have a focused stream on this one, so I can have a YouTube video. And like whenever Armando gets back, we'll just count that as go. I'll chop it up from there when I go make a YouTube video. Regardless how many people come in here and stuff like that, I still want to man, I could let in some natural light today. It's overcast. I do want to I'm going to continue to do it, dude, regardless. Just for posterity. Eventually, they might be worth something at some point in time, so I'm just going to keep sticking with it. At least on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursday's stream wasn't as great. It was kind of quick in and out. But Thursday was the day I didn't have all my references up, so it just totally screwed us up. Let me know, Armando. When you're back in, we'll start. And we'll get this thing going. But yeah, I got the script ready, and this is like a different setup than I did for Geldor, so I'm curious if this will make it smoother or it'll make it... Damn, what kind of... Jeez, dude. That was a long ad. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is probably my least favorite page out of the bunch. Let me get everything up and going. Okay, so we're going to do it like we did last time, more or less. And if you look up in the top right corner, these are going to be these are going to be the only things that I'm getting when the script comes in. I get the script itself, whatever's contained in there, and then I get isn't that interesting? All right, I'm going to keep this over here. And then I get the then I get these little model sheets and stuff like that. So they're pretty cool. I don't use them. They're not really much of a reference for me. Like, they're not... Of course, it would be your least favorite after I give it... No, you've seen all these pages. I just think it's, I just think there's better ones in the batch. But they'll send me these She-Ra things. We can just go through those real quick since we're here. There's not many. There's 3 in the wave. And... Let's see. Is this right? Got to make sure I got the right one open. Okay, so there's 3 characters in the wave. It's going to be Mantenna, Ram Man, and She-Ra herself. So let's take a look at those. All right, there we go. Models. So yeah, it's just a cool behind the scenes. It's something neat to see. So we got She-Ra, you got your up and down, your back and forth, and I don't have any of these figures yet. They're coming out. They've probably been out for like a month or so, and they are just hard to get your hands on, especially early. And it's She-Ra, bruh. So everybody's going to be into that She-Ra wave. The other figure is Mantenna, so you got some really interesting articulation that's going to be going on here. So it looks like they're going to have to put in a whole new body for the bottom. Let's see. Head, torso, scarf, arms. So all of this is almost newly tooled. So almost all of this guy is tooled. Dude, most of your budget probably went to Mantenna. And then you got Ram Man. So this is an expensive wave as far as Mattel goes, right? And then each one is going to come with this, like, each one of the cartoon collections comes with a piece of something from an episode. So this is going to be from an episode, one of the episodes. So yeah, he's completely right on cue. So he's completely newly tooled as well. So that's crazy, man. This was a very expensive wave. She-Ra, all new tools. Crazy. And it doesn't look like she comes from something from any of the cartoons. He's going to come with some chest. Metallic box. Bruh, it's so funny because he's been quiet. He's been quiet all afternoon, but as soon as he hears me, he starts cutting up. There's the Candlestick Club. There will be a Candlestick Club preview in the new Time Kids graphic novel that will be on Amazon very, very shortly for order. And that will be your place to get a look at the first look at the Candlestick Club. I'm almost done that. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna work on that tonight while I'm watching NXT. So let's get into this page. Well, let's start with the script first. Let's go there. So script, Horde Invasion. And here we go. And you can kind of follow along here. So again, I'm having fun with the panels. I'm having fun with the scenery. I like playing around and kind of mashing things on top of one another and just getting kind of crazy with the layouts. It's fun to me. I get very, very bored, especially at this point in my life, with like straightforward, like square, square, square. Dude, I want everything just crazy. And that's my preference. Mattel's letting me get away with it. I have free reign, so, you know, I was playing around with a little bit of that in Ninja Turtles. Now I got much more free reign. They just let me do what I want, more or less. So, let's go through the page. Panel 1, establishing shot, Planet Etheria. Caption, Planet Etheria. The horizon is a dark over a hill. She-Ra rides her steed Swiftwind just ahead of a darkening shadow which envelops the land. Up above, we see the vague outlines of many blurry dots infesting the overcast sky. Caption, against the dark heavens, a sinister outline gains definition. A malvoyant, how you say that? Malvoyant force which seeks to infest Etheria and all realms beyond. Establishing shot the Crystal Castle, its battlements. Brilliantly, we see She-Ra riding toward its vast entryway. Dude, and there's so much room for interpretation here. Anybody that does comics will know that when a script comes in, you know. Some of it I'm straightforward. You can already see with the pencils here that it's going to be pretty straightforward shot. The other problem, or the other challenge, especially when you're doing some of these pages, these cartoon collections pages and stuff, is that I only have so many references. I only have what the internet has available. So for the Crystal Palace, I'm making a judgment call. Do I use the cartoon version or do I use the toy version? And you're going to see in this one, I actually use a little bit of both. And secondly, I don't have that many angles to work with. So unless I want to like completely reverse engineer or go through certain episodes, whatever, there's not a lot of choices here. What artists do you look at? This is with Travis. What artists do you look at for inspiration when it comes to panel composition? None of them. At this point in time, nobody. I'm just doing what I feel like I want to do. So this, I'm not going to go into the whole conversation we had last week, but nobody. I'm 43. I'm not looking at anybody now. So panel 4, wide shot, She-Ra's throne room. She's standing before a giant circular mirror that acts as a communication portal. Its surface is mirage light. Standing before it, She-Ra is flanked by Glimmer and Bo, though the portal she's speaking with, He-Man, Rayman, and Teela all wear grim expressions. So we got a ton of stuff. I do look up to you for information. So there's a ton of information going on in this panel. And so we kind of come up with a clever way to do it. And also, just being straight up, I'm also looking for the panels that have the most, She-Ra in them. So, any chance I have to put She-Ra front and center, or, an identifiable character, He-Man, really a lot of women, I want to put them front and center. That's who I'm going with. So She-Ra's going to be, dude, if you haven't noticed, if you go through my mini comics, I'm always going to have Teela up in the front. It's a thing. So that is page 2. So here we go. Here's our page 2. Looking pretty good. Pretty detailed. Let's see. Pretty self-explanatory. You can kind of see what's going on here. And I don't think I need to go through anything yet. And then we have our inks. And so this is the final page. I ended up switching the angle. I had a back view, and I had a good reference for this one. I have a good reference for She-Ra, a view from behind, and I have a good reference for Swiftwind. But, I didn't feel like it was impactful. I did have some Kirby crackle in there, since, he's a big influence when it comes to Masters of the Universe. But it's always better to have the character coming at the camera. So I switched it. So, give or take. Probably could have gone either way, but we got another straightforward shot of She-Ra. And the stars and all that kind of stuff in the background is from an old reference that you'll see. Now, the mirror. The unidentified mirror that was on the wall or whatever, okay? That is going to be from the Crystal Palace toy. So I used the actual Crystal Palace. If you see down here in the bottom right hand, that was one of the things that came with the toy house. So let's go through the references, because these are going to be really cool. Let's see. All right. So yeah, so these are going to be the references that I'm sending over. It's going to go to China, and then whoever colors it over there colors it. I'm not throwing in a bunch of stuff from the She-Ra modern cartoon. I never saw it. I think some of the designs are cool, so I'm leaving in some of the designs. And I like how there's a bunch of little planets around Etheria. So I use classic Etheria, but I have all these little orbs and planets floating around it. Here's a map of the actual home of She-Ra. This came with the toy playset. So that's also a reference for the cartoon people if they wanted to throw that in there. I don't think they did. Hold up. This is a background from I think this is a European comic. Man, I thought the art on this was just amazing. I saw it when I was digging around online, and I've used it a few times. Just blown away by it, man. I thought it was really, really cool. And I really thought this, background was really neat. All the way the guy did the star stuff and his kind of, brush lines right here. Man, I thought that was just, mega, mega cool. So I have that in there. And then this is from the She-Ra playset. It's her little doll. It was basically a Barbie dollhouse. And I thought that would be a cool way to have... do the mirror thing, and then if you know what it is, you get a throwback. You get a cool throwback to the original She-Ra stuff. So let's go to page 2. Page 2 is going to be easy, man. Take a sip of the bubbly. Sometimes I come on stream and I'll have coffee and I'll start talking and then it gets cold and it's just nasty. Dude, this was an easy one. Let's get the page up first. One sec. This is a new process, so I'm getting used to it here. All right. Page 1, we're going to page 2, so this should switch over now. And I'll get this one ready to go when we switch over. Because this is going to be a quicker one. This is not going to take long. Horizontal splash page. Floating in space just above Etheria's atmosphere, the invasion force of Hordak, an armada of dreadnoughts and attack ship, armed to the teeth and battle ready. Leading the vanguard is the largest craft of them all, Monstron. I think they messed up on that. Hordak has returned. So that was all we had. Like, that was the script. That's it. Page 2. These pages are nice. It's a splash page, nice and easy. You get in and you get out. But man, that Monstron, again, we're falling into the same trap of there's not a lot of references, man. Like, there's not a lot of things to choose from here. And that's what I started out with. I drew the image. It's not too much different than the image you see to the left. There might have been 2 or 3 shots online, and they changed drastically. So, I wish I had all the model sheets. I don't know if they were lost to time or whatever. I'm kind of building up a little catalog, and it's getting easier. But yeah, there's maybe 3 or 4 shots of that I can choose from. You got to get this done in a reasonable amount of time. This is one of those copy and paste pages where it's just boop, boop, boop. But when I was done, I felt like we could use something else. Like, it was kind of empty. You can see all the Kirby crackle kind of floating around in the background, that Kirby space kind of stuff that he would do. But, man, for a splash page, it still felt kind of boring, man. Like, it was kind of, like we needed something else, you know? So, when I went to ink it, bruh, I've gotten, like, really competent when it comes to Hordak. So, just dropped him in there, man. Like, very, very simple, very easy. And I think it really, really took this page to the next level. The other thing that's going on with this page, let's see if we can get to page 2, is I'm throwing in all kinds of references. And I'm just, look. Well, I don't want to say that yet because this is, none of that's revealed yet. But, yeah, I'm throwing in a bunch of references on my own. Again, nobody's telling me anything. And in my opinion, especially when you're dealing with licensed products as an artist, whether you're doing G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, He-Man, She-Ra, whatever, is to push the boundaries as much as possible and let the lawyers tell you no. Let them, you sneak in as much. Dude, I was sneaking in Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure, dude, Sanford and Son, like as many references as I can in Ninja Turtles. Dude, you find them. You find them and tell me to change them. Otherwise, I'm having fun and I'm doing stuff that I think the fans are going to enjoy, okay? And then we can go to our references and you'll see all the different references I was using. Again, have that cool image of all the, man, these elders, these weird elders, this awesome skyline, man, this super, super cool skyline. And then we get into all kinds of other stuff. I found this really neat map, and it breaks down all the different planets within the Masters of the Universe. So we have Horde World is one of the ones we use. I used a bunch of stuff from New Adventures He-Man, so Nordor and the Tri-Solar System and stuff like that. Let's see what else. I was just picking stuff that I thought would be fun to draw, so it's not like it's not that complicated. Robotica. Well, I was just like, dude, that's a cool one. Like, that'll be fun. Threw that in there. Let's see if there was anything else. Okay, and that was it. So you can kind of see some of these floating around in here. Horde World. And then I just put like a little letter showing them like A, B, C. There's the New Adventures He-Man planets. Where's Robotica? Robotica back here. And, yeah, man, ended up being like a really neat, cool page. I thought so. And an easy page. Easy hitter, in and out. Let's get that, get out of here quick. I'm racing the clock here with the coffee. All right. Page 3. This is cool too, because now we have some unused characters from Masters of the Universe history. So let's get the page up. Page 3. Switching over now. And then we'll get this one ready for when we go over there. Alright, page 3. This was a cool page. So I have to stay within the bounds. I'm choosing to stay within the bounds of the cartoon. But in the case of this one, we start slipping into past mini comics. And that was a fun opportunity to kind of, again, I'm using my best judgment here. Like, if you can see He-Man, he's like classic He-Man from the cartoon. Man-at-Arms is as well, Duncan. But some of the other characters, like Lady Hiss, that's like my own version of Lady Hiss. My own version of, what's your boy's name? The leader. Who's the leader of the Snake Men? King Hiss. Lady Slither and King Hiss. And then you have, God, I can't even think of his name right now, but you have a couple other of the Snake Men. I have them right here, too. I have the vintage figure with the long arms, which is really cool to sneak in there. So here's what the script says. Wide shot on the deck of the Monstron. We see Hordak sitting at the command seat, holding an orb, which shimmers in the bright light. The orb is an Easter egg reference for the forthcoming Soul Keeper, which was featured in Demo Man's mini-comic. Manning different control stations are Horde troopers. Standing on each side of Hordak, we see his henchmen Modulok, Leech, Mantenna, and this strange-looking creature who was a concept from the 1980s Mattel team, Brain. And, dude, I love moments like that, man, because, like, dude, you have this character that never saw the light of day. I used to have fun doing that with Ghostbusters. Working on Ghostbusters would always throw in Kenner toy designs that were unused. A lot of those you can find online. And so this was really neat to, like, bring this character 40 years later, bring him to life in a comic book, and man, I love it, dude. Like, what a cool, he's really tricky, had to, like, really get in there and, like, see what's going on and stuff like that, but, like, mega cool, man. Hordak, blah, blah, blah. Montage, we see collection of events from previous mini-comics, Motu Origins arcs, Rise of the Snake Men battle the Masters of the Universe and each other. I might not even have drawn that one. Lady Slither beheads King Hiss, while He-Man fights Snakeface. So Snakeface is a dude, and, like, all the stuff pops out. He's got, like, a Medusa thing going on. Man-at-Arms combat Squeeze, as Cosmic He-Man fires a beam of several Snake Troopers. So that's Cosmic He-Man down at the bottom right down here. Dude, packing it in there. That is so much information, so much to do. And we still got 3 panels left. So that was technically 1 panel. Had to come up with a clever way to get it all in there and be interesting in some kind of way. So that's what I ended up doing. Just some kind of weird montage where they all kind of blend together and, Drew Struzan kind of way. Actually, Travis, but to your question, what artist do I look to for inspiration? Drew Struzan. Like, his layouts. I try to draw comic book pages like he would do a movie poster. We're in a space hangar. Horde troopers and engineers work on constructing fighter crafts. Wasn't a big fan of this scene. Wasn't a ton of fun. The other scenes were a blast. Like, these 3 are just kind of boring to me. Panel 9, we are at Laser Gate, a massive beam portal shot across space through which Hordak fleet enters. Again, just using a classic boom tube kind of thing going on here. I can't stress it enough, dude. I'm going for what is going to be the most fun to draw, what is going to be the most impactful when you turn the page. I'm not thinking as much about story. And I am. It's not like I'm not thinking about it, but on the scales, right? Let's see. Panel 10. Planet Etheria, where the arriving fleet is now anchored outside its atmosphere. So that was an easy page. Nothing going on here. So that is our pencils, and then that is the completed page. So we get a good look at Lady Slither down here. Cool figure. I want to grab her because it's just like a really neat figure. Again, there's an image of all these Monstrons. Dude, there's not a lot of shots, and so I'm bound by the 3 or 4 shots of these figures. That last panel's a whatever panel. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, this was a cool page. This was a fun page. That probably the best part was drawing that dude. Brain or whatever he is. Like, that would be awesome if they make him a figure. That would be really neat. And Modulok is Actually, a blast to draw. I really enjoy. I like him. Leech is not that fun. Mantenna's fine. Hordak's easy. Modulok is just funny looking. He's really neat and fun. Let's go to references. Let's see what references we had. Nothing crazy. Oh, good. Now you get to see the shots of the Monstron. So this is like it. Like, this is what I have to work with here. I sound like the guy from Batman. Like, look at what I have to work with. That's it, dude. You know, like, you kind of got to make it happen from there. You need a different angle. That's it. Those are your model sheets. Hordak, easy. Get a closer look at all these guys. Squeeze. Snake Face. I actually really like this panel. And I like the little circular, like when his head is chopped off, it's kind of got like that goofy, cartoony, circular whatever down there. Like, I guess that would be like the blood kind of thing. And like almost like when you cut open a tree stump or whatever. Like a real, I don't know. I like doing those cartoony moments. But she was really fun to draw. I like drawing her. And then here's your boy up here, Brain. He was really tricky. And he shows up again later in the She-Ra wave. Not this comic, but he just pops up again. Modulok, just fun. Fun little impish little guy, you know? All right. Next. Get y'all set up. What page are we on? 3? 4? 3? 1, 2. That was 3, so we're in 4. We're almost done. Dude, this is a banger. Let's see. All right. Yeah, this was this might be my favorite page out of this one. We're on page 4, right? Yes. Okay, this might be my favorite. And a lot's going to change as we like get over to it and stuff, as we move into it. It's close. Hold up. I got like one more sip. Okay. Page 4. Close on Hordak, who has a finger raised as he screams. Satellite view looking down. Countless missiles and lasers. Fire rains down upon the continent, creating a rolling hellfire across the once verdant land. Not jumping on drawing explosions, and you'll see as we go, as we move forward. This is gonna be a crazy page. Satellite view. I've never heard that. Bird's eye view. I guess that's even higher up, or maybe he wanted like satellite, whatever. We see cavalry armored Pegasi, with female and male warriors mounted on them, taking flight with She-Ra at the lead. Sword raised skyward, laser fire narrowly misses as they ascend. Before we even move, and Travis knows some of this already, before we like move forward, like I'm gonna give you a little bit of mindset of like where I was when we were doing this, is dude, this is like She-Ra 40th anniversary. So, man, it's wild I've been able to be a part of, like, so many of these moments. It's Princess of Power, man. Like, dude, bring the heat. And, I didn't know, like, how it was going to go. Like, there's more, like, it's an overarching story. But it was like, man, let's come out guns blazing. It's classic She-Ra, not Netflix She-Ra, or I don't know if she showed up in 2000X. Like, it's the She-Ra everybody wants, the She-Ra everyone remembers. Bring it, you know? So, wide battle shot, laser fire crisscrosses the panel as a squadron of flying Pegasus, mounted with archers and swordsmen, take on a fleet of Horde gliders. It is the She-Ra Gotham needs, bro. It's the She-Ra Etheria needs. It's the She-Ra we need. So that's our page. That's like the breakdown. You can see some of the Pegasus in the back and stuff like that. And as I was working on it, again, it says, what's the panel? Panel 4? The battlefield, blah, blah, blah. The warriors raise their... No, that's next page. We see cavalry of armored, lasers fire. There was something about shooting, yeah, it says with mounted Pegasus and archers and swordsmen take on a fleet of horde gliders. He does not. He's never shows up. But dude, I love Bo. I feel like Bo gets a bad rap. I'm talking about classic Bo. Mustache. What's his name? Oh my God. Tom Selleck Bo. You know what I mean? Like Magnum PI Bo. And this is one of those where like the writer's gonna give you like a rough idea. You know, they're gonna give you almost like they're almost giving you their own thumbnail, and then the artist comes in and really takes it to the next level a lot of times. And dude, I was adding in so much crazy stuff, and you'll see. Watch how much this page is about to like jump forward and change. So that was our pencils, and then these are our inks. And it goes to a whole nother level here, man. Like we have this crazy shot. I'm gonna have to open this up in the computer so we can go through it. We have this crazy shot of all these like wild characters floating around. So I was able to find, man, I might have 3 or 4 Pegasus in here. I was able to find that like the old vintage toy line, they had multiple. So it's just like Battle Cat and Panther. They had the same mold from the Big Jim line. This wasn't from Big Jim. I don't know if they used a different mold for the horse or it was specifically made for the She-Ra toy line. But dude, they made about 5 or 6 horses or Pegasus for the characters to ride on. So I was trying to sneak in as many as possible in this like epic friggin' battle shot. And then there's this other thing, which is it's called the Butterflyer. And man, I thought it was so neat and so cool, and just went out of my way to throw that in there, and then snuck in every little detail of this Butterflyer. And then you have this cool shot of Bo, the Magnum PI of Etheria, like just picking off horde troopers as they come up on these whatever, these little things they're riding on. And then you got a shot of the Monstron back here. So I guess they're all kind of like zip, you know, you can kind of see them at the bottom here, kind of zipping around at the bottom. So this was a heavy duty page. And then you have the Crystal Palace back here in the background. And just to give me a little air, you have Hordak, but to make it even more fun. So let's go back. This is interesting. And I'm remembering this as I did it. Look, dude, you have 2 panels here. Panel 1 and panel 2 are 2 separate panels. It's a close-up of Hordak, and then all kinds of stuff shooting down out of the sky, whatever, like missiles or whatever. To throw in that Butterflyer and have that scene, I had to do a lot of reformatting the page, the panel and stuff. And this was a cool way. You don't need the it's a mini comic, so it's not 11 by 17, so you're losing a little bit of storytelling room right there. They're getting packed in with a ton of information because they're so short. And this is just so much going on this page, so you have to make a decision on like what's going on here. And I thought this was a great solution, was just combining those 2 panels and almost having it like a fade effect. Or if you use Photoshop, it's called a layer mask, where Hordak is almost like fading in, and then the battlements are going on behind him. You know what I mean? So he's doing his close-up, and then all that action is happening back there. And that saved us, I don't know what, a quarter of the page almost, that we got back to throw in all this other stuff. So let's go to the references, and then you'll see, like, you should be able to see all the stuff here. Dude, packed in with references on this page. So much stuff going on. So you have this woman, I think her name's like Angela or something like that. So she's kind of the leader of the Etherian army. Catra has her own horse, and this is a Christmas one because she's got all kinds of Christmas presents back in there. I think this was later on. Somebody did this later on for PowerCon, so you can see it at the bottom. And then I'm throwing in all the different horses for reference. So you had a gold one that came with a special version of She-Ra. Yeah, this one that looks like it came with whatever her name is, the butterfly chick. There's the butterflyer. I thought this was a great image of whoever did the package art 40 years ago. I thought the face on the butterflyer was amazing, man. I thought it was beautiful. So I tried to capture that rather than have it look like the toy. I thought they did a great job. It's basically, if you were a kid back then, it's basically Battle Bones. Like, Battle Bones was essentially the same thing. So this is like the Battle Bones equivalent for She-Ra. More Pegasus. There's the Horde guys down here flying in the Monstron. And you can just see, I'm giving references as to which ones I think it should be. There's the Butterflyer. Really happy with that. Really happy with the way it came out. Really happy with the underside, like showing the depth and the form of that headpiece hair thing or whatever's going on there. My man Bo, all the different characters, Etheria, whatever. So that was a kick butt page, fun page, references. All right. Flip it over again. Next one. We're almost there. So that was page 4. Page 5. And there you go. You're going to see Teela right up front. And get this one ready. Okay. So page 5. Again, dude, like so much stuff going on. So many characters. Page 5. The battlefield, where many Etherian warriors are surrounded by the fiery wreckage of a destroyed Horde crafts. The warriors raise their weapons towards the Pegasus which fly overhead. Again, this is a situation where I'm picking the characters I think should be in there. So I'm picking that pirate dude, the witch lady who's kind of like her Orko. I just like that peacock girl. I thought she was really cool looking. I'm sorry I don't know everybody's specific name off the top of my head. Horrified Etherians stare up at the sky as we see countless more craft approaching. So the pirate guy again. But lo, the victory the Etherians won was short-lived. Planet Etheria, easy panel, give me a breather, gives me a break. Meanwhile, on planet Eternia, masters assemble to aid their sinister world. Before Castle Grayskull, we see He-Man and many masters like Ram Man, Man-at-Arms, Teela, Extendar, and Rio Blast. Rio Blast is tough. Before a massive portal barrier whose complexion is pitch black, the vision of Sorceress floats above the scene as seen and speaks. And, is that it? Oh, panel 19, Hordak watching. So, there you go. Oh, waited too long. I knew it was going to happen, too. So there you go. There's our panel. Dude, so much stuff going on here. So many characters. And then you get the masters in, and you got to kind of pick them. Who's going to be prominent, who's not. How do you sneak different characters in? There's just so much packed in here. Travis mentioned it during the Geldor one. There's just so much going on, man. So let's go to our inks, and you can see the finished piece. With all these different characters. I don't know where Rio Blast is. I might have just dropped him. It might have just been too many. And he's a tough... Rio Blast, as is not that complicated. Rio Blast, when he's got all his weapons out and like, all that stuff's going on, he's a pain in the butt. Extendar made a lot more sense because of the layout, because of having Hordak kind of like a sticker panel thrown on top, he made the most sense to sneak in there because I could just kind of pop him out on top and not have to worry about a lot of perspective and fit in all the characters. I wanted Teela up front and center. She's holding her snake staff from the toy. He-Man's back there just kind of in like a heroic pose or whatever. Sorceress. And then I really do enjoy... I enjoy drawing Castle Grayskull. Always going to throw in that Mark Taylor skyline from the Castle Grayskull toy from the computer. And then in the cartoon, Castle Grayskull is kind of out in this like barren land, and it has like this bone bridge and all this kind of crazy rock formations built up in front of it. And I love drawing that, dude. Like, those are really, really fun to draw. So you can kind of see all that in the left-hand side here. So then we go to references. Let's get to it. And here's our references. We got more of the horses, the Pegasus back here. Man, I really want to get this lion in there. Let's see its name. Claudine. Bruh, awesome. Some of the pun and the names were great for the classic toys. So I am going to get Claudine. One of these days I'm going to sneak her in. Hopefully soon. There's more of the She-Ra characters. There's the toy Crystal Palace. I cannot think of a homegirl's name right now. So there's that pirate dude. He's really, really cool in the cartoon. I like her. I think her name is Peekaboo. Almost positive. I like her. I think she's cute. I like the way she looks. And here's like that barren landscape that I'm talking about with Castle Grayskull and stuff like that. Like all this like strange... So it's like this big giant pit. If you watch 2000X, like there's a reason for it. Like King He-Man creates it when he's defeating Hordak and sending him to Despondos. And so there's this big giant pit that's created, and then like Castle, and it's almost like bones that are like coming up out of the ground and like holding everything together. And man, it's just really neat and cool to draw, like really fun to draw. And you don't have to like stick to the references as much. You know what I mean? Like as long as you're kind of getting, as long as you're kind of getting in the ballpark, I feel you're pretty good, and you can kind of let loose. At least I can have a little more fun with it. So decent He-Man face right here. He-Man gets a little tricky. Like I said before, I want him to be a little more grizzled, a little tougher, have some lines in his face. You know what I mean? Like have some attitude. Teela. Beautiful eyes, like, man, when they designed her, just great eyes and stuff like that. Closer shot of Ram Man, pretty easy to draw. Using the black of Castle Grayskull, like the back end of Castle Grayskull back here. The shadowed area, right? Man, I keep flipping to the wrong page. The shadow area back here. Using that as a way to separate the figures here. So it was a good way to kind of make them pop out a little bit and stand out. Especially Extendar, who's going to be mostly like white. He's like white, silver, and a little bit of gold. So, cool one, fun one. Let's see. And then final page and cover. Let's see, page 6. All right. And I mean, this actually got tricky because you'll see in a second. Because after this, when we go to the cover, it gets a little tricky. So there's the page. Big shot of She-Ra. Let's just do the script first. So page 6, epic wide shot. We see massive transport ships which have landed. Their bay doors have opened. Hordak tanks, Horde cannons, and armaments roll out, as well as long regiments of Horde troopers who march forth. Again, dude, I've got to have a life at some point. Some of these panels just, dude, we don't have time for this. You know what I mean? So you'll see when we flip over. Hordak stands triumphant on the deck of his ship. Mantenna speaks to him, so you can see that's pretty straightforward shot, headshot. Panel 22, She-Ra and her allies, Bo, Frosta, as well as Kyle, I like Kyle, are in the castle's great hall. We see fragments of the ceiling crumbling. Like, Kyle's like this fun, I don't know, whatever he is, like a koala kind of weird thing. But he's got like this old man attitude, like this stressed out old man. Like, he's a fun character. This was an easy panel. She-Ra, bathed in angelic light, nobly grips the sword of protection. Panel 25, we see Hordak surveying his army and armored vehicles which besiege the Crystal Castle. And that's it, dude. That's the end of it. So here's our page. Here's our pencils. I like those overarching shots of the villain, kind of like Hordak is in page 6, like that 2-for-1 kind of shot, you know what I mean? Where like the image of him is ghostly, like an apparition on top of the scene itself. It makes him look more menacing. Hordak in front of the Crystal Palace, like leading his troops, dude, it'd be kind of menacing. But having him up there as like this figure, this thing in the sky, I don't know. It makes him like more mythical, and I feel like more of a threat. That's what I think in my head. So there's our shot with She-Ra, Hordak, all that kind of stuff. And you'll see like the references in a second here. And pretty good shot of She-Ra to close out the book. Could have been a cover shot. That's the only issue here. Is man, possibly could have been a cover shot. But let's go to the references and we'll round this out. So in the background of the panel, needed something. They're inside the Crystal Palace here, and I kind of like bouncing back and forth between the two cartoon version and toy version. So this is one of those moments, just kind of switching back and forth. So that's the railing from the actual toy, the Crystal Palace toy. I don't know, just thought it would be a cool. If you get it, you get it. But that's the other hard part here is that I got to make sure. I don't have to make sure, it's not even on me, but I'm trying to give the people that go and color it, who I have no communication with, the best guides I can, you know what I mean, to try to get the point across, whatever. So here we are, here it is again. There's that mirror thing again that we showed earlier. And again, it's basically Castle Grayskull the way it opens up, Castle Grayskull Snake Mountain, but it's just like a dollhouse on the inside. So you have like a chest of drawers, some seating, a fireplace, and a bed. I guess you can go to bed at night. Were there any other references? Oh, and like we have those Horde tanks. So like when I was talking about panel 1, that's it. I love the Horde tank. I love how everything has Hordak's. He's branded everything, like even better than Batman. He's branded everything, and it's just got that Hordak face on all the items. So pretty straightforward page, and that rounds out the script. But we do have a bonus. Let's see. To wrap it all up. Okay. And close you, and we can close you. References out of here. Is there another reference? Okay. And so now we go to the cover, man. So I get no, they don't tell me anything to do. It's just kind of me doing it. And I love this. I love the sketchiness of it. I love the looseness of it. I almost wish this was the cover as is, because this is more my art style now. I draw everything the way I draw it, and then I kind of come back on top and make it look like the cartoon. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense in my head. So with the cover, there's our pencils. Let's see. There's a tighter version of the pencils. And something else that was going on here is that the way She-Ra's hair was kind of flowing out, it was just becoming tricky, and I don't think the sorceress looked that good. Like I don't know. It looks weird. It looks weird, her having her head like that. I also like how the ground is like kind of splitting out at the bottom, so it's kind of creating these shots coming in from the top and from the bottom. Have Mantenna and Leech, have Bo and Frosta, and then here's our final version of the cover. And I am very fortunate and grateful that Mattel lets me put my little Lattie He-Man logo in there. And if you ever were a fan of She-Ra and watched the old episodes, your boy would always show up. He would always be hidden in the episode somewhere. So I'm trying to hide him, if I can remember, trying to hide him in most of the scripts and the panels. So there's our final cover. Not final, because it's got to get covered and you got to put the text and everything like that. But there's our cover, and here are the references. Nothing too crazy, but I did think it would be cool. Again, I never saw it, but I do appreciate a lot of the designs. So I love having all these orbs floating around. Here's our little guy sneaking around and giving it away. Spoiler alert, he's hidden back there. And that is a She-Ra script. So that's what we got, man.
He-Man will be right back after these messages.